Welcome back to PM Homestead. Today I'm going to start the process of my peanut butter eggs for Easter. I start out with a cup and a half of creamy peanut butter. Very sticky this morning. Thought it was closer to room temperature, but it's still pretty sticky. Okay. Then I add a half a stick of butter. And 1 package of cream cheese, also softened to room temperature. Have to use a spoon. It does take a while to cream these first 3 ingredients together, but it's always best to do these first 3, and then once they're well mixed, then you can add the next ingredient. Again, these are for my chocolate-covered peanut butter eggs I'll be making for Easter. I'll do milk chocolate coating and white chocolate also coating. As you can see, this is slowly coming together. You could do this with a hand mixer, but I prefer to mix things by hand, especially when I'm making a video because it's less noisy. And I'll come back with you here as soon as I get this blended well together and add the next ingredient. Okay, I got it pretty well blended together now. There may be little chunks of butter here and there, but as I add the next ingredient and mix it up, they'll all get blended. And the next ingredient is a bag of confectionery or powdered sugar, and I just add a little bit at a time. Mix it in. I prefer to mix this with my hand because I feel it gets better incorporated. And like I said, you only want to do a little bit at a time. If you dump all that powdered sugar in at once, it'll take longer to get it blended together and mixed in. Okay, and a little bit more. And once I have this all mixed together, I'll separate it in 2 different bags. One to be covered in white chocolate and one to be covered in milk chocolate. And I like to let it rest in the fridge, I don't know, a couple hours. Makes it a little bit easier for the next step. A little more powdered sugar. It may take a little less than a whole bag of the powdered sugar. It all depends on the consistency, actually. You'll know here whether it's easy to shape or not, or if it's still real sticky. Which I'm just wondering if I probably need one more little bit of powdered sugar to this. I'd say that was probably 3/4 of the bag. Scrape everything down from the sides. You can see it don't take long to get your powdered sugar incorporated. But you definitely do want to get it all incorporated so you don't see any white spots. I just keep turning the bowl so I'm picking up all the loose sugar from the bottom, helping it get blend in. Gotta switch hands here. That one's getting a little tired. There we go. You can see it still has the nice peanut butter coloring. And it is just about to the right consistency. Breaking up a couple of the powdered sugar clumps there. There we go. That's about the right consistency. Then I like to, like I said, I'll be splitting this in half here. Half will be covered in white chocolate, and the other half will be in milk chocolate. Take half, put in one bag. Half in the other bag. Press it all together there. Get as much air out as possible. Press this together. Release the air. And I'll put this in the fridge for about 2 hours to let it chill nice and good. And then I'll bring it back when we start shaping these into eggs. Okay, I'm on to the second step of my peanut butter eggs. My filling mixture has been in the refrigerator actually a little over 2 hours because I got busy doing another project. I actually have homemade buns over here on their raising. Add a little bit more light to the work area. Then you just take some of the dough, throw it into a ball. I try to flatten it and then make one end like a egg shape, flatten the bottom. And there's one. Put them on a cookie sheet, line with wax paper so they'll come off easier. And you do want to try to make these as close to the same size as possible. I know a lot of people actually weigh them, but to me that's a step that I don't feel necessary. There's another one. And I'll do these. I have 2 bags of the filling in the refrigerator. I'll do both of these, but they'll get covered in 2 different chocolates. Like I said, one will be a milk chocolate, one will be a white chocolate. And you can tell when you lay them on the cookie sheet, you know, if you got one that's a lot bigger than the other, you just take it and rework it. But after you've made a few of them, you kind of get the feel for, you know, what size ball you should start out with. One year I made quite a few of these for our local hunting club that we belong to, camping group, and by the time I was done making them, I definitely could get them all pretty close to the same size without, you know, too much problem. But it don't take long at all to shape them. I think everybody can make an egg shape. And it's, you know, a little sticks to your fingers, but not very much. There we go. All right, I'll come back when I get this ball here finished, and I'll show you how many I got. I got 19 peanut butter eggs out of half of the mixture that I created this morning. I'll cover these with plastic and roll out the rest of my dough. Put them in the refrigerator overnight so they're nice and cool. And tomorrow I'll come back with you and show you how I dip them in chocolate. Thank you. Okay, I've got my chocolate melting in a double boiler to cover my eggs with. I use bulk chocolate wafers that I get from my local Amish store. And to my chocolate wafers, I like to add a tablespoon of coconut oil. That gives the chocolate a nice shiny texture when it dries. And I'll just mix that in there and get it to dissolve. And then the next step will be showing you how I dip my eggs. I did leave my eggs in the refrigerator overnight. You could actually freeze them if you wanted to go that route to save a little bit of time. That's totally up to you. But I just went ahead and left mine in the refrigerator. Okay, it's almost the right texture here. Turn my temperature down just so it, stays at a nice simmer. This to the other side. Coconut oil out of the way. And I use the fork and knife method for coating my eggs. I put peanut butter egg on the fork, dip it into the chocolate, flip over, lift it up. Then I scrape the knife over the bottom of the fork. Tap it a few times and lay it on my cookie sheet. Egg on a fork, drop it in, flip it over, lift, shake, scrape bottom, and place back on the cookie sheet with wax paper, of course. Sorry if I didn't say that first. Drop it in, flip over, tap, scrape bottom, place on cookie sheet. In, flip over, tap, scrape. Do one more and then I'll show you how I add a little texture to give them more of a, I don't know, I guess store-bought look. I just learned this little trick the other day while watching another YouTube channel. I wished I could remember the name, if I could give her credit for it, but okay. Now, let's see if I could. Okay, this is the tray. These are the ones that aren't coated yet. And then you just take your fork before the chocolate completely dries, which I think I left mine dry too much. But you give it a little flip and it kind of gives it a more, I don't know, professional look. But I left my chocolate dry too much, so. Stir. Chocolate. I'll do a few more here with you. With the egg. Tap. And scrape. Alright. And I'll get back to you and show you after I have them all done. Okay. I got 3 trays of the milk chocolate covered eggs. I'll set these now in the freezer to let them get a good chill, and then I'll either wrap them individually or put them in individually in little plastic snack Ziploc bags. But again, this is the finished product. Thanks for watching.